Hey guys, it's Kai and welcome back to my channel. I feel like at this point I might as well just make my standard channel introduction an apology message for being away for so long. I recently just got back from a holiday that I took in England. My very first time even on the European continent. People were lovely. I had a fabulous time. I'm actually going to be going back in a couple of weeks. I've just really fallen in love with England, let's put it at that. But then upon coming home to Canada, I came down with a terrible cold and I had so much work to catch up on. But now I'm back to cross-dressing. I'm really stoked about today's video because I've been wanting to do this type of video for so long. As you can tell from the title, this is all about dyeing synthetic hair. I've dyed human hair on my channel before, just using the conventional methods of using hair dye, but of course synthetic hair is plastic and we have to be a little bit creative. I've heard of people dyeing their synthetic wigs with markers or ink. I've heard that those things will like come off in the wash and like potentially stay in clothes, so I don't really want to go down that path. I think that the best way to go about this is to use fabric dye because that's the closest to what wigs are made of, is synthetic fabric. Now I've tried this before on another lace front wig and sort of failed miserably. This is another wig that started off as platinum blonde and I just dipped the whole thing in some fabric dye just by following the instructions on the bottle. But the problem was that it dyed the lace like so intensely that it's hard even really to wear and try to salvage because you just see that dark purple lace. So the method that I've tried out in this video was I only sort of dyed it in streaks and dyed very close to the base. So instead of dipping the entire thing in a pot of dye, I just dyed it little by putting the dye in a little cup so I could really control where it would touch. Another thing that I wanted to try was using fabric spray paint because they have that out there in Michael's, but I sort of figured that if I was just trying to spray little strands of hair, it would be a little bit too messy and get all over my room. I mean, for synthetic hair, we have to make some sacrifices and really experiment with things because there aren't products out there that are made for this particular project. Whereas with human hair, there are so many advancements and innovations in products and technology that there's kind of something for everything. For synthetic hair, we have to make some sacrifices. Like for instance, you have to start with very light hair. You can't go out dyeing a synthetic wig that's black or some other darker color. There's no way to bleach it any lighter and the dye just won't stick. With all the wig companies that are out there now, there's really someone selling any kind of color that you can think of, but if there's a very particular color combination that you want that you can't really find anywhere, maybe this is a method that you can try out to approach it. This method will result in you getting a very pastel look to the hair, and you'll understand why once you see the method. There's lots of different ways you can get the look of streaks in your hair. You can sew tracks in your hair, and I've done videos about that. You can even use makeup in theory, but this method you can actually wash it out and steam it and style it without it washing out because it is permanent. This is how my wig turned out. I really love it. There's streaks of pink and purple and blonde all throughout it. I'll put down in the description all the products that I used, all the details, and any other comments that I can't really think about right now, but let's just jump into the tutorial. Alright, so I've got our wig right here. It is a blonde synthetic wig, and blonde is the key term. You really want the hair to be as light as possible, as close as possible to white, so that the color, whatever color you choose, really takes to the hair and looks true to what's in the box. So I've got two colors right here that I'm going to play with, a pink and a purple. And these are from Rit. They are the liquid fabric dyes. Rit makes different formulas of fabric dye. Some of them are not really recommended for synthetic fibers like polyester, acrylic acetate. I'm just reading off this label. Something like this is more meant for like cotton. You want to look for the dye that on the label says it's good for synthetic material. Like this one says it's meant for polyester, nylon, and acrylic because of course a synthetic wig is made totally out of plastic. So as I've shown you earlier, I've experimented around. I tried dyeing synthetic wigs before and it's just been a disaster when it came to the lace because I couldn't find any way to not color the lace. So I think what I'm going to do here is instead of dyeing the entire wig and dyeing the roots up to the lace, I'm just going to dye little streaks and highlights and not go as close to the root. In fact, I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the end of a comb and actually section off a bit of the front hair. So the front hairline will be totally blonde and I'll just add the streaks to the back. And then now when it comes to adding the streaks of color to the hair, I am just going to start from the back. I've got here a kettle of some boiling hot water and a little disposable plastic Tim Hortons coffee cup. So I'm going to fill this about halfway. The way to activate the dye is to mix it with boiling hot water. So let's start off maybe with the purple. I'm really just gonna eyeball it. Maybe I'll use a couple capfuls. It's probably better to start off with less and then just keep adding more. Okay. You know what? I'm also gonna lay down this towel right underneath where I'm working so anything can spill on that. So I think I'm gonna dye this entire back section. Yeah, let's do that. Let's put this hair up as well. And so I'm just gonna take my cup and I'm just gonna completely dip this in. And I'm gonna get as close as I can to the root. So the bottle says to keep the fabric in the solution for 30 minutes. My goodness, I'm not doing that. As you can see, it took to the color almost instantly. I should have thought this through a little bit better. I'm gonna take just this little paper towel and take out all of the dripping dye. Oh my god. Okay, I think I'm just gonna accept that this towel is just gonna go to shit. So I am just gonna dry the excess off. You're meant to wash it out with cold water afterwards, and of course I'm gonna do that in the end, but I am just kind of patting this dry so that it doesn't spill everywhere and make a huge mess. But as you can see, this is how that back hair is looking just instantly. So I'm taking down some more hair, and I'm gonna dye a little bit more purple. You know what? Let's actually play with this pink. So I'll do the pink next since I've got a second cup right here. So same thing, I'm gonna fill it up about halfway with water. Do a couple capfuls of pink. But first shake it. Okay, so now I'm gonna pull out some streaks and dye them pink, and I'm gonna kind of weave my brush in and out like that. Oh my god, let me put on some gloves. My god, my channel is so bootleg, I don't know why you guys watch me. As I was saying, I'm gonna pull some strands out to dye pink. Again, just starting from the ends. Just gonna dip them in. Ooh, and you can see that pink right there. It looks really dark, but as you'll see later on when you wash it out, it's not gonna be this dark. It's actually gonna go to a more pastel shade. I'm getting as close to the root as I can, but of course, since the water is in a cup, I can't exactly touch the root. So let's hold it in there for like 5 more seconds, and then let's take it down to reveal this beautiful dark pink. I'm gonna let the excess water drip into the cup so it really minimizes the mess. And then let's dab it dry with a towel. Yay, so there's our pink strands. Let's do some more over here. You kind of have to slowly push it in. It's not the easiest thing. And then once I get to the top, or at least this is how high the hair is gonna go, I'm gonna stir it around to make sure all of that hair is being touched by the dye, like so. I'll hold it there for about 10 seconds. And then taking the hair out. All right, I changed my sweater because I was too afraid of ruining that other one. I'm just gonna keep going up. So let's do pink now, up here. Oh my god, okay, so I think I'm finally done dyeing this hair. I'm really excited to see how this is all gonna turn out, so I'm gonna take this down and take out my pins, and I'm gonna wash this in cold water.
Years later.
Okay, so the wig has dried overnight now, so here's how she's looking. It came out gorgeous. In my mind, I kind of envisioned for things to have more of the look of like streaks and highlights, but as you can see, it's almost all like just blending together into one little bubblegum color. You can sort of see where I was going with it here with the pink streaks. Really inspecting it, I can tell there are places where the color took a lot better than other places. Like you'll see here is where the pink looks very strong, and here the pink looks a lot more faded. And I can remember that the reason why is because when the pink worked really well was when I had poured a new batch of hot water. So if you are working with boiling water, the color is going to take a lot more effectively than when you've let the water sit for a little bit. So if you want the color to take really effectively and be as close as possible to the color in the bottle, I would switch up the water and pour some new boiling water and mix it again, like almost every few strands, so that it's really hot to the touch. Anyway, I'm not complaining because I think it still looks gorgeous, and it didn't touch any of the lace, which I'm very pleased by. So I'm gonna style this hair now. I want to give her some nice sexy curls and waves, so I am just gonna set her with these wire mesh rollers that are 1 1/8 inch in diameter. You guys have seen this process many times, so I'm just gonna skip forward through this. Can I just say, I am so annoyed at these Forever 21 nails that I've tried out. My friend Eve recommended these to me. Did I buy the wrong one? They look like this. These are the shittiest piece of shit that I have ever tried in my life. I might as well just use them as post-it notes because that's how much sticking power they have. Like, they're not even that cute. Like, isn't the appeal of these to be able to put this on without having to use nail glue, but that's what I'm using anyway? Like, goddamn. Anyway, I just get more sassy when I have long nails. You guys, this is how the hair ended up looking. This was a super fun project. I hope you guys get the chance to try this out on your own. Speaking of which, here are some lovely people who've been tagging me on Instagram in looks of mine that they've recreated, tutorials that they've tried out, makeup looks that they've even drawn and made artwork of. Thanks so much for the tag. Please keep them coming, and let me know what else you guys want to see me do on my channel. I love to read your requests. I might not always do them. I might upload very sporadically and disappear randomly for long periods of time. But it might just come through. Thanks so much for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments, but until I see you guys next time, I hope you're all doing well. Bye!